I'm Mark Stewart Greenstein. I am a candidate. I'm also a student of government. And wow, the last 18 months has given us an awful lot to study in government officials. Well, I have a single shared thread to what looks like progressive lunacy. But there's something that means they're not candidates for being institutionalized like you would ostensibly think. I mean, somebody even 10 years ago who was invited to Congress to testify, as a woman last week did, that birthing persons, that's not women, could include men. Okay. This would be an institutionalizing statement. Congress, knowing that these are her long-held viewpoints, would have been unelectable for bringing her in front of this committee, okay? Close to this lunacy, those who truly think we should defund the police. Now, here's what they don't do, and thread one. They don't think about step 2 and step 3, that if defunding the police, there would be more crimes, and you yourself would be preyed upon, unless you were wealthy enough to have personal security, which most Congress people actually do. So that's one group. If they think 2 steps ahead, they would not be for defunding the police. Now, what if they don't think 2 steps ahead? They just are reactionary for what feels good. And there's a lot of leaders in that category. And they are even less trustworthy, in my mind. They're terrible. Then there's a group that they do think ahead. They realize this is a problematic position, but we're going to take it anyway because it's an empowering position to we in the liberal, now I'm going to say far left, that are getting more and more control. So when we abide by things that are ludicrous, we get the base, and that base is good for us. The common thread that runs through all of this is what is good for the power of established people to gain more power, more control over everybody else. That's what's animated policy after policy. When we had riots, many progressives were encouraging it. Express yourself. When those riots became condemned by enough suburbanites that they were going to lose votes, oh, let's not riot. Mask or no mask, politically involved. Vaccinate or don't vaccinate, depended on who was president. Remember, when they were being developed by Trump, your far left didn't want anyone coming near the vaccines. To Zoom in school or not to Zoom. Another set of going back and forth cavils that the progressives do to keep power at the time. So here's the truly worst group. They are the leftists. That's even worse than progressive. Progressive, I think, are misguided, but they would like America to succeed. Leftists don't want America to succeed. And they know that slogans like defund the police are ludicrous, but they know that it leads to more and more clashes, more and more dissatisfaction, and isn't that a beautiful recipe for taking America into something it never was? It's going to look like the communist ideal envisioned by Marx and Lenin. Ladies and gentlemen, on all 3 fronts, these people are bad in power. And people who just vote party line that still keeps them in power because we're afraid of Republicans are putting us in long-run jeopardy. Okay? Republicans don't have a very good track record either, but it's not as ghastly as what comes down the pike from progressive lunacy.